Okay, we'll start here. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Emerson, Marco Jimenez here in North County, San Diego, Fallbrook. Welcome to Emo Tennis on YouTube. We are aiming to educate and enlighten some of our cohort, as I like to say, fellow men and women in our age group here in the USTA leagues or not, just for recreational fun. Jim has had several decades of experience as a coach, and he's been kind enough to offer that information to us on this channel. I'm one of his students and been playing for about a year and a half here on his court here in Fallbrook, and this is my opportunity to give back by doing videos and creating a YouTube channel. So welcome, everybody. And Jim, you want to say hi and introduce yourself again?
Sure.
For those that are new.
Being a tennis coach wasn't something that I planned on doing, and so just being a player is hard enough. But to be a part of other people's experience, you have to change, and a big part of it is serving the game better. Like, we all serve the game, but can we serve the game better? Can we be more honorable? Could we really want the opponent to do well? Those are things that typically in winning or being competitive, you don't want that. And so when you start to value serving the game and knowing that you gave it a good effort, that you didn't cheat yourself and you mentally didn't go away, in a way that's a win. Well, I didn't win the match. No, it's a win for you. The better you can promote yourself and like yourself better, the calmer you're going to be, the more tuned in to your gifts you'll be. But a lot of times we rob ourselves of that because of our dim view of ourselves. I'll use that as a possibility. So there's certain people that are not going to change. They're pretty satisfied with being unhappy with themselves. But there is other people that just want to be nudged in the right direction to change for the better and serve the game better, and then become enlightened by it. So that's what Marco and I are all about. We want you guys to have the richest, fullest experience of tennis, and in order to do that, sometimes we have to change our thoughts. Because again, I'll say what I said earlier, that if you change your thoughts, you can change your energy, and a lot of times we have a hard time doing that, and so we get stuck. And so today we're going to be looking at me playing singles right after playing doubles the night before with Marco, and so expectations playing a really good player were really low, and so I was pleasantly surprised in the first set. So
yeah,
I guess we're ready.
And we got some air traffic above us, but home studio, new studio, U.S. Marine Corps, hoorah, right next door here. They're doing a lot of flyovers, so you're gonna probably hear a little bit of that on this episode. But anyways, let's talk about Todd. You mentioned he's a 4.5.
No,
it's a 5.0.
It's a
Sorry, Scott.
And Scott has actually been as high as a 5.0.
Nice.
But he's in his mid-60s, and so he's had shoulder and knee problems. But he is an excellent athlete. He's a big guy, 6'3", about 200 pounds, and he moves. I call him the road runner because he can get moving and he can get low for a big guy.
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna hit play in 3, 2, 1, and he's serving here. It looks like.
Yeah, just kind of easing into it. Not trying to do anything fancy. Oh, I got a little bit of an angle there.
Yep.
And poor footwork, and the ball kind of dived on me. Obviously, I like it when he hits the ball harder.
Sure.
But there's a lot of finesse going on, moving the ball around. Nice backhand. You see how he stayed down, followed through to his target.
I like how you centered the court on this video, by the way. That looks perfect.
He's the one that did it because he started in swing vision before I did.
Oh, okay, so
nice. He's my go-to guy. You're my other go-to guy, by the way.
I'm more the editor guy.
Yeah, you're the editor guy.
But on-camera guy. But yeah, this is nice. It gives us a really nice opportunity to review our friends.
You see how long that game was? It was a long one.
Yeah.
Obviously he held.
Just trying to draw you in. Yeah.
Did.
Yep. And yeah, I know it was a topic we've covered in the past, but this could be a new video to some folks. The obvious left and right is what we always think about in singles. Getting your opponent to move left and right. But what a lot of people don't focus on for some reason in singles, it's more so in doubles, is the forward and backwards, right? The lob, the drop, the lob, the drop.
We call it open real estate.
Yeah.
Your job is to make his job rough, and if you can hit all four corners of the court, he's got to cover that, then you're going to wear him down a little center.
Yeah. That was some good advice you gave me before a tournament last summer that I did pretty well in singles.
Oh, I didn't get quiet down far enough on that one.
Yep.
He's got me running all the time, and the idea is you have to be really patient.
Yeah.
And he will get excited and go for too much, but not right now. Oh, maybe a little help from your friend. And he doesn't like me pinching in. And I look at it like that's the way I keep my feet engaged, get my feet moving, because I have a problem of not shuffling or moving my feet. That was out, he was yelling.
Yelling at himself.
He got me with that low one, and I didn't move up. So you got to pick up that ball sometimes a little quicker. If you don't, like there.
That was a great get.
It's keeping your head still and not giving up, because I'm not really swinging. I just block it.
He's got a nice serve.
So I don't remember if the set score was 6-2 or 3, but
You took him in the first set, you said, right?
yeah, and then I couldn't seem to do anything right in the second, but I figured it might have had something to do with playing the night before.
Yeah. There are some tricks you can do to help alleviate is it lactic acid in your muscles that builds up or something? Do you ever recommend people do Epsom salt baths between matches?
Ooh.
Have you heard of that?
Well, I have used Epsom salt because it gets the soreness out a little quicker.
Right, right.
But at my age, I have to get in the hot tub sometimes upon waking up. It'd be 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be whatever, but all of a sudden I realize that the whole body is saying, I hate you. And the hot water has a lot to do with soothing the muscles. And then obviously stretching. I can't tell you enough about it. Stretch. You don't stretch, you'll lose it. It's one of those things where you really have to.
Yeah, and from a lot of the strength and conditioning coaches I've worked with over the last couple of years here, the dynamic stretching before you start activates your muscles and gets you going. But then it's equally, if not more important, to really take a long stretch. Put your towel on the grass or on the floor and just really stretch it out when you get home. Do some downward dogs. Get your back nice and loose, and it really helps. If you're
I say do it all the time. I mean, do it all the time.
Sure.
Every night I have to go through a series of rituals that I go through.
Nice.
And it's like I won't stop doing it. Before it was plunging in the cold water, but right now it's a little bit too cold, and I got sick a few times, so I'm being a little bit more reasonable. But the more you tune into your body is going to tell you what it needs. And I feel like at 69, there's no reason why I can't stay active, but I have to work at it every day. When I first got my new knees, it was about riding the bike. I had to ride the bike every day, and I had to commit to saying I'm going to ride it the rest of my life. And if I do, I have a chance. If I don't, I have no chance. So, it's been 7 years now, And I think I'm going to get a little bit better. I don't know about a lot better, but I think I'm going to get a little bit better. And you guys could be the judge of this in a 6 months or a year if I do get better. But so he's overhitting a little bit and getting frustrated. So that's always good when you see your opponent doing those things. But eventually they'll start landing, and then I'll do the suffering. Oh, and then my favorite shot, the lob. We talked about the four corners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, he hit the line on that one, and I like to get him back when they hit the line. I don't care. I hit the line. And I didn't get it back. But middle of the alley, that's not bad.
It's painting the lines, is what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Is that again? Oh, I just out. Oh, looks like the camera's twisting a little on us.
The wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to anchor that stand a little bit.
We do get the Santa Ana's here.
But you could tell periodically we have balls that go in the pool.
Yeah.
Or over the fence. But I like hitting it hard into the body. You saw that's what I did. If I could get my weight behind it.
Yeah, you've
I'm
got
not trying to go for an angle.
a few of those.
Because he's got such a long wingspan. It's hard to hit it out of his reach.
It's kind of interesting forehand too. Or maybe it's right as he's about to connect, his head just kind of locks into place for something interesting.
Yeah, and he keeps his head down on the backhand.
Wow, okay. Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, he really does. He's keeping his head down, focused on the ball.
Yeah. So he's put in the years and the hard work to get to that level. And he just recently was able to get moved down to 4-0. So he's a commodity right now, and if there's any team that needs a 4-0, he can play now. So
nice.
But for some reason he doesn't want to play at night, so we can't get him down there at night.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It gets pretty chilly right now. Yeah. Not that it's East Coast chilly, but it's tough on the joints, I think.
Well, he says it's because he can't see. But the lights are pretty good, and I haven't had anybody complain.
Yeah, maybe he's got some kind of night blindness issues where it's hard to see at night.
Nah, I think a little bit is driving to Escondido from Fallbrook.
Yeah, that's true.
He gets hungry and he goes, I'm hungry when I'm going home, so he's kind of in a bad mood. You know how guys are.
Yes, I do.
You can see we had some long rally though.
Yep. Ooh, yeah, that was good.
That was a desperate shot. I had to make it. Oh, and then I missed it. Same shot. And then I come to the net like I shouldn't be coming to the net. Oof. I used to think I could come to the net anytime I want when I was young.
Yeah.
You can't stay at the net. So, because we played so long, I look at him as I want him to win, but he's got to play good. And so I'm not disappointed or I don't have a bad vibe just because I didn't make a shot or he hits a great shot over something I thought I hit a pretty good shot. There I go with that lob again.
Wow.
He got that one though, so he paid me back.
Nice shot, Scott. That was nice.
He keeps going.
Oh, wow.
But he see how patient he was. He didn't get in a hurry and tried it. He just hit to the open court.
A great return. And you can see his momentum is shifting.
Yes. And then lands that one. Well, look, he said side spin he put on there. He cut the ball. The guy's got some nasty shots. And then he likes to hit those balls, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with hitting the higher elevation balls that have a lot of spin. So they're still climbing and they're near the baseline, like within 10 feet, and then all of a sudden they come down in a hurry because it doesn't have a lot of power with a lot of spin. It has time to come down. we call level 2 and level 3, depending on how good it is. And it's like, well, if you let it bounce, you might as well stand up against a fence because it's going to kick. Or you have to hit it on the rise, and it's a steep ball coming up. There, I didn't have a good enough lob, but not bad.
Let me ask you this about ball spinning and slice, because I've noticed when we watch professionals and even at our level, when your opponent is slicing the ball at you, it's easier to slice it back because you're
under the ball.
Why is that?
You're under the ball and you're trying to change from under to over.
Yeah,
that's an extreme.
That's a major, yeah. Because the ball's spinning under, and then you're trying to do top spin. So, because I've just had a number of times I've sliced balls that were really bad lobs, and my opponent was at the net ready to crush it, but the spin was so strong that it went straight into the net. Okay. That happens a lot.
So it's almost like you have to buy into slicing back until the ball gets to a certain height, because all that underspin, it's bouncing low, it's not wanting to come up. And the best thing you can do is just slide under it and it'll want to go up. But if you're going to try to get under it and pull it up, it's too tough. It's an extreme low percentage shot. But a lot of people don't know how to slice or don't like slicing. And the best players do whatever is needed.
Yeah, I guess really strong players can counteract that slice with a really nice top spin if they're in the right spot and they get low enough and they bend their knees. And
there's another component to it too, is going on under the ball and putting a sideways slice on it. It becomes a difficult ball that just got harder, because it's not just staying low, it's starting to dance away from you. And if you don't see it, don't read it, your feet don't adjust to it, there's no way you can counteract it. So it doesn't matter about the swing, it matters about the feet. But overall, if you look at it, our numbers are pretty high on percentage of shots made. And so now we're playing a thing called half court. If you notice, the rallies I stayed down and really got my legs into that one. And so we split sets, and then I was up 5-3 and lost 5-7, I think, in a tiebreaker. But I like this, but at the time I'm like at the state of like, I played last night, I'm playing now. I'm feeling good right about now. But when I changed over to the other side, that's when everything fell apart.
Yeah, I like this half court because it obviously helps train you for doubles, right? Like you're avoiding the net guy.
It is practice for doubles. It really is.
Yeah, and the idea, obviously, for people that don't know what we're talking about, is that you're only hitting it across court. And doubles counts too. So some of these balls look like they're going out, but technically they're in because the rules are different.
Well, the alley is where you want to be.
Okay, you're aiming for the alley.
If you can get it in the alley, you're restricting them.
Yeah. You're really getting them off the court too.
And you see how patient you have to be?
Yeah.
I recommend this game to anybody, whether you're a singles or a doubles player, because look at this rally right here. I don't know how many shots. You can see the patterns of the spots, but it looks like it was close to 20. And how often does that happen? If you don't practice long rallies, you're not going to be good at long rallies.
Yeah, and there'll be some singles matches I play where I'm 10 hits in and I'm thinking, wow, this is new.
You see that one, I hit the line, but it went in the sun, he couldn't get it. Gave up.
Yeah, your mind starts wandering. If you're not training like this and you do that 20 rally stuff, it's easy for your brain to wander because you're in new territory and you start thinking, wow, how many shots have we hit here, and what time am I supposed to be going to that wedding next weekend? Do I need my oil changed? Like, literally, like that's, you name it.
One point
how many
is doing
thoughts?
that.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is it helps you to focus at a higher level. and
breathing
and the breathing and recovering,
right,
and then grading the ball, knowing, see, I didn't get that one over, and so you can see I didn't finish the shot. But now it's going to come the long. See, I set myself up to fail in that one because I didn't do enough.
Yeah, last time we did this, you brought up a really good point about breathing, because you can keep a rally going, and be out of breath and catch your breath in the middle of a 20-point rally like that,
yes,
to the point where you're finally confident to do the cross down the line.
Yeah, you finally got to a better state of being because you kind of got yourself into a better vibe, and then all of a sudden, magic. I'm going to call it that. So, I don't know. I had the greatest experience in that match, and I didn't win. I didn't win the tiebreaker, but I won the first set, and we are going to do it again next week because that's what we do, and it's like we both win, and we look forward to it. So, if you find somebody that wants to play like you and you get after it, you guys will enrich each other's lives. But I think you guys already know that. He's enriched my life.
Yeah, likewise. And last point about that cross court is the concept of myelin.
Yeah.
Of neural pathways that are being just cut through when you do that, and you just get that rhythm going, and then the myelin goes over that. I always visual the myelin covering the neural pathway so that it stays in there, and it keeps that muscle memory locked in your brain, so that when you are in a tournament and you are running out of breath on your 15th or 16th shot, it just becomes natural, and your mind is focused, and you're in the breathing, and you're feeling the feet moving, and you're bending, and it's just this, it gives me the chills thinking about it, because it's something you just have to do to get better. If you're at a point where you've been playing, like a lot of these guys, we just watched the interviews, we played when we were young, we took this huge break in our lives because of life, and my case is the same. Played till I was 18 and came to San Diego State, tried to walk on, lost my butt, and then stopped playing for 15 years, and then I picked it up in my late 30s again. And now you're at a point where you're trying to figure out the nuanced things you need to do to really improve your game, where now you're drinking less, you're eating healthier, you're maybe hitting the gym once or twice a week to build some muscle up, but then at the end of the day you gotta put the hours in on the court, and you gotta hit that ball as many times as you can with your partner. So yeah, like you said, if you can find a partner that's willing to do that, that's great. If you're at a club, or you got a group of guys like the league team at Brangle that we've been playing on, Carter's great he's our communication director practically. He's the one that's always communicating and trying to get us all to meet up on the courts. Like, those are the guys you need to gravitate towards, because those are the guys ultimately that are going to help you not just improve your game, but improve your life, I think, ultimately. So that's my my little spiel on that.
Well, I think you've turned the corner where maybe we all don't turn the corner, is when you start giving back to the game. When you really believe that giving to the game is more satisfying than taking. It's pretty much unlike tennis people. People will ask me about tennis a lot of times, and sometimes I have to be honest and say some of us tennis players have the worst character. We're not the nicest people. In fact, nobody could say that McEnroe was nice on the court or Djokovic was nice on the court. They're not. That's not their personality. That's not what they do. But we're not professional tennis players, so I say serve the game. And when you do, all of that other distortion or all that unpleasant feelings go away. You serve the game, you serve it well, there's no gray area. And this thing called myelin, about how you figure out how to do something in the right way for you, and then you figure it out, and then you do it again. Well, they call it muscle memory, but it's actually secreting this stuff called myelin that goes over the coating of the nerve, and it makes the signal go faster. It's almost like we have in the telephone industry with fiber optics. We're sending a signal, and that signal on a copper wire versus a glass tube is really different. You're getting more information on the fiber, and you're getting it faster. So when you start getting this myelin on something you've learned, it's going to transmit faster, and it's going to be clearer, and there's going to be more information in it. So as you like build these circuits of myelin, then you become, you can be almost subconscious to doing it. It's going to want to do it. You've already built a network of thinking that is in line with it. So maybe we can talk about myelin again some other time, but to me it's a real interesting subject.
Definitely. Yeah, I remember when I was in my teens getting a bucket of balls, my coach would always just say, you know, before we even start, you got to go hit 2 buckets of balls, you know. And of course, as you're a teenager and you're just, you know, dragging your feet, it didn't make sense at the time. But then eventually, by the time you get to that, you know, you're starting to move up in the ranks of your team and you're starting to feel it. You welcome that bucket of balls because it's just getting your myelin or your memory, muscle memory going, and you hit it and you finally start feeling certain aspects of your toss that you didn't recognize before, and then it ultimately just seems to become part of getting into that zone, I think, of not really thinking about it anymore, and just, you know, going with the flow as another way to put it. Yeah, that's really it for me on this one. Did you want to add anything else?
Well, you're constantly evolving. This expansion, this idea that you expose yourself to new stuff. It's not just tennis. The more you welcome it in, the more you don't put barriers in front of you, the more it's going to come to you. You don't even have to go to it. And so that was a hard one for me to swallow. I didn't come from a tennis background. I wasn't a tennis person. In fact, I was in college when I took tennis and thought, well, this is not for me. Until I saw the ladies, I go, well, they look pretty good compared to those football guys or those baseball guys in their wool uniforms. So I was all in at that point. But but I'm glad I found the game. It's made me who I am. I want to give back to the game now that I've reached an older age, and then maybe, if this is a possibility, do better in the game in the coming years. And I'm thinking, if I could do that, even if it's 10% better, then somebody like Marco or anybody that's a student of the game will say, hey, if that old guy can still do it, he's not where he was 6 months ago, he's actually gotten better. Then maybe I can be a beacon of hope for others to keep working hard and loving the game, and it'll love you back tenfold. It won't be like a 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really well said. Yeah, good way to wrap it up. Yeah, it's inspirational for sure. Yeah, it's a good sport. You can play it for the rest of your life, hopefully. Okay.
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
I guarantee you we'll do something fun.
Yep. And as we mentioned before, I don't know if it was this video, but yeah, first person that reaches out through the comments, or, you know, there's a way to reach out to us through the email as well on YouTube. You can come up to Fallbrook. Jim will do a free session for you, and we'll record it, and then we'll do a reaction video similar to this to share with your friends and yourself, and just kind of become part of the community up here. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. So see you guys on the next one.
Thank you. See ya.